Good evening and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe. Good evening, Shalan.
Good evening, Bernadine, and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. Of course, given the current situation in the country, all our viewers out there are eagerly awaiting to receive an update on the prevailing situation here in the country. So without further delay, let's get on with the news and take a look at your top stories for tonight.
Shootout between the armed forces and a suspicious group inside the Murtu area in Kalmune. Raids continue across the island. Detonators and other equipment seized in Samanture. President says the security forces of the country have the capability to completely wipe out IS operations in the island. Raids continue across the island. Stock of weapons seized in Slave Island. IGP appears before the committee appointed by the President to investigate the terror attacks. Constitutional Council approves Jayanta Jayasuriya as Chief Justice and Chulantha Vikramaratne as Auditor General.
Now, taking a look at one of your top stories tonight, a large number of items have been recovered during a joint raid in Sendilgama area in Samanture, Ampara. The raid was conducted by the police, STF and the army. Now, among the objects recovered is a banner similar to that of the Islamic State, as well as several cans of fuel. Now, also a shootout has taken place between a suspicious group of individuals and security forces personnel during the search operation in Santimanture, Kalmune. Police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara said the incident had taken place when STF personnel were continuing the search operation. Now, the police special task force said the shootout took place when they were raiding a location suspected of being used to manufacture suicide bomb vests. Given the prevailing situation in the country, it has also been announced that police curfew has been reimposed from 10 p.m. today to 4 a.m. tomorrow. Police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara added that police curfew has been imposed with immediate effect in Kalmune, Chavalakade and Samanture police divisions. Again, police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara has said that police curfew will come into effect immediately in Kalmune, Chavalakade and Samanture police divisions. Moving on in more local news, island-wide inspections were held today as well. Many suspicious locations were inspected by security personnel.
A special search operation was held this evening at a mosque located in the Slave Island Mosque Lane. Police said 46 swords was found from the room of the chief priest of the mosque. The suspected priest was arrested along with another 15 machetes and 25 military uniforms found in his possession. Additionally, a tense situation arose between a group of people gathered at the location where investigations were conducted. Another inspection was carried out in another mosque in Korpiti based on information received by the police. Police stated 28 uniforms similar to military uniforms, a locally manufactured drone aircraft and other equipment was found during the inspections. Police questioned a person who was lodging there on the incident, and he stated a 22-year-old man from Mathura, which he referred to as a friend, who was lodging along with him at the mosque, had brought the uniforms. Two people who attempted to hide two firearms was also arrested from Aukana Galnava. Police stated the suspects was arrested last night while they attempted to hide the firearms at a paddy field located behind the Aukana police checkpoint. Police also seized 42 bullets in possession of these suspects. Police further stated the suspects are 42-year-old and 48-year-old residents from Galkiria Gama. 6 people suspected to be connected to terror attacks was also arrested from Kilinochchi. Police stated the suspects were arrested last evening on inspections carried out by the Sri Lanka Army. Suspects were identified as residents from Anuradhapura, Kantankudi, Nochiagama and Kilinochchi. The Sri Lanka Army Bomb Disposal Unit inspected a suspicious motorcycle parked near a bus stand next to the Orugodavatta flyover this morning. Police stated the motorcycle which was inspected was left out after being robbed by someone else. The owner of the motorcycle had lodged a complaint to the Navagamo police on the lost motorcycle 3 days ago. No suspicious items were found from the motorcycle. The person who left a fake bomb on a bus belonging to the Ambalanthota SLTB depot parked near the Ambalanthota Kogala High School was arrested last night. A parcel containing an electronic circuit along with a motorcycle battery placed on the back seat of the bus was found by the Army Bomb Disposal Unit. The suspect arrested from Bolan Ambalanthota was produced to the Hambantota District Magistrate Court and further remanded until the 9th of May. Police stated the arrested person is an ex-military personnel. Another search operation was conducted by the police and the Sri Lanka Army in the Kurunegala bus stand. A suspect was arrested with possession of multiple fraud documents during the search operation. On safety concerns, all illegal settlements in Mahiyangane was removed by the police.
An individual by the name of Zaharan Hashim is believed to be the mastermind behind the Easter Sunday terror attacks. Did he actually die in the suicide explosion? This question has grabbed the attention of many.
A letter to several DIGs on the 9th of April, signed by the IGP notes, a group led by Zaharan Hashim were preparing for multiple suicide bomb attacks in the country. Before the attacks, this person had made sporadic statements on social media, and security forces assume he was one of the 2 suicide bombers who targeted the Shangri-La Hotel. He bears similar features to the man in an IS video portraying the alleged suicide bombers who attacked multiple targets on Easter Sunday. Detectives say this cannot be verified until the DNA reports are made available.
There
is talk that Zaharan died in this explosion. There are various pictures of this as well. We do not believe this picture 100%. This picture that is being published was used by people in Kantankudi when they were protesting against Zaharan in 2017. This picture is one of his pictures that they doctored and used during their protests. Recently in Parliament, it was said that Zaharan Hashim could have been the leader of another organization known as the National Tawheed Jamaat. The National Tawheed Jamaat was founded in 2012 by Zaharan Maulavi. He later went missing during the unrest in Kantankudi in 2017. After that, he expressed anti-government sentiments through his Facebook page. So we announced back then that he will be expelled from our organization. We made this public through our Facebook page. The TID and the CID questioned us on a number of matters. We answered all of these questions. Security forces are now being told a man by the name of Newsfirst Maulavi is providing leadership to the group which was led by Zaharan. We would like to reveal that there is another chief accomplice of Zaharan of a similar caliber. He is Maulavi Newsfirst. Foreign agencies have reported that he is the one preparing the second wave of attacks. This could be true because Maulavi Newsfirst had written long articles in support of IS on his Facebook page. All the articles he posted on Facebook was in favor of IS up until August in 2018. Our security forces should be very vigilant about this. Also, Zahran's brother Saini is also a person who maintained connection with IS. All three of these people are very dangerous. Meanwhile, Mohammed Yusuf Ibrahim, who was arrested at the house in Dematagoda, is being detained and questioned by security forces. Two of his children were identified as suicide bombers in Sunday's attacks. He is a famous billionaire businessman. He was an ordinary civilian, but he has changed so much to a point where he involved members of his own family to carry out suicide bomb attacks. He was also given special permission by the Ceylon Electricity Board to use the transmission devices along Avisavella-Vallampitia Road. If the government knew that he was a terrorist, they would not have given him permission to do this. He changed suddenly. The threat still exists. Security forces searched a copper manufacturing factory belonging to Ibrahim's family and arrested a number of people there for questioning.
President Maithripala Sirisena said a major search operation is underway and added that every household in the country will be checked. A tweet from the President's media division says the list of permanent residents of every house will be established to ensure that no unknown persons could live anywhere. Now, also the office of the media spokesperson said 80 people have been arrested in connection to Easter Sunday's suicide bomb attacks. 10 people were arrested during the past 24 hours.
33 of the arrested people are in the custody of the Criminal Investigations Department. 4 of them are women. Another 4 suspects were handed over to the Terrorist Investigation Division. FBI personnel today searched the house located down Mahavila Road in Dematagoda. American Ambassador Elena Teplitz said that expert assistance for the investigations on Sunday's terror attacks is being provided following a request made by the government. Police and STF raided a house in Maramba Marvanella this evening based on a tip-off received. According to our correspondent, police arrested a woman at the location. A 22-year-old man identified as Mohammed Adil Mohammed Amiz, suspected of having contacts with the IS terror group, was arrested last night from Darga town Alutgama. Police said the suspect was arrested at his house following a tip-off received by intelligence units. The police added that a number of devices, including computers, were discovered at his residence. According to police, the suspect had maintained connections with IS through the internet. On the 24th of April, security forces raided a house in Kirimatithan, Balangoda, based on a tip-off received about explosives at the location. A specially trained dog named Toganam was also used for the operation. A 27-year-old suspect was arrested during the raid. According to our correspondent, he was in possession of parliamentary entry passes and a road map of the area. 6 parliamentary entry passes were found in his possession. 2 bullets, a T-56 firearm, 3 cell phones, a number of ATM cards and 13 SIM cards were also found at the house. Security forces also searched a suspicious cab parked at the house. Police found an additional fixture installed on the suspect's cab. Initial investigations had revealed that the cab belonged to a resident of Ampara. It was brought to Balangoda from Ampara on the 16th of April. The suspects were produced before the Balangoda Magistrates Court and the magistrate granted permission to detain and question the suspects. A similar fixture was discovered on a lorry that was found at a house in Nayakakanda Vattala yesterday. The lorry was seized based on information uncovered during questioning of a number of suspects arrested in Navagampura Vallampitia last afternoon. The seized lorry was previously singled out by police as a suspicious vehicle. According to police, the lorry was registered under the name of the man who carried out the bombings at Shangri-La Hotel. However, the owner of the vehicle had subsequently been arrested by police. He had acquired the lorry on a lease.
President Maithripala Sirisena met with heads of media institutions this morning. He expressed these views at the meeting.
I make a special request from the people of this country. Do not look at our Muslim brothers and sisters as terrorists. I request everyone that we must protect the Muslim community of this country. There is a strong relationship between narcotics and terrorism. On one hand, the IS organization would have looked at Sri Lanka to further their general goals and attack the country, similar to attacking other countries. Or maybe these attacks were expedited due to my national drug eradication program. Leaders of the IS terrorist organization had made a statement several years ago that it is only when the IS hoists their flag in the Vatican that they have achieved their objectives. I believe that this is one reason why they attacked Catholic churches in the country. The people who spoke about human rights in Sri Lanka, weakened the security forces, weakened our intelligence units, are not to be found in the face of these attacks. The Director of National Intelligence had been given details of these attacks. The letter detailing the attack that the Director of Intelligence received was a long one. I am not ready to waive my responsibility on the matter. While there are officials who work very well in the country, there are a few who neglect their duties and cause such massive loss of lives, destruction to property, massive damages to the country's tourism industry, and cause a detrimental effect on the country's economy. The Defense Secretary and the IGP holds the responsibility of all of this. This is why I requested them to resign prior to any disciplinary inquiry. The Defense Secretary resigned yesterday. I will appoint a new Defense Secretary today. I requested the IGP to resign and he agreed. During the 4 months I took over, I made several changes to the police, amended laws and initiated the formulation of new laws, motivated the police officers and implemented a comprehensive drug eradication program. The IS attacks have obstructed the drug eradication program as well. The police, SDF, CID, Tri-Forces are currently successfully carrying out their duties. More than 70 suspects in connection with these attacks have already been apprehended. Based on the prevailing information, approximately a group of 130 to 140 individuals are involved in IS operations locally. We have already initiated operations to apprehend these individuals as well. Therefore, during the next few days, I believe we can eradicate this crisis. We will put a complete stop to IS operations in Sri Lanka. Experts, particularly those who have expertise in fighting IS, have come to Sri Lanka and are working with local security forces. No foreign army will step into our country. This was a very unfortunate experience to all of us. However, we are capable of resolving these issues.
බලාපොරොත්තු නොවිච්ච මේ සියල්ලත් එක්ක අපිට හැකියාවක් තිබෙනවා මේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් මර්ධනය කරන්න.
මේ ප්‍රහාරවලට වගකීම යුතු මේ ජාතික තවහිද් ජමාත් සංවිධානය තවමත් තහනම් කරලා නැහැ කියලා ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අයි මෙච්චර පරක්කු මේකට.
අපි 22 වෙනිදාම බැලුවා මේ සංවිධානය.
We looked into banning this organization on the 22nd of this month. However, based on the prevailing laws in the country, we cannot ban the organization. We are now looking into the acts passed by the Australian and Singapore parliaments. I will hand over them to the Attorney General. However, due to the urgency of this matter, I met with some of the leading lawyers in the country last evening and requested them to prepare a draft within 2 or 3 days. And we will then hand it over to the Attorney General and pass this draft in Parliament as soon as possible.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ සම්මත කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
Now, in more news on the same issue, Inspector General of Police Pooja Jayasundara and former Defence Secretary Hemisari Fernando appeared before the Presidential Committee appointed to probe the Easter Sunday terror attacks.
The committee is headed by Supreme Court Judge Vijit Malalgoda and includes former IGP N.K. Ilangakon and former Law and Order Ministry Secretary Padmasiri Chayamanna. Heavy security prevailed at the premises when the IGP arrived and he was grilled for almost 2 hours. The committee had been instructed to submit a report on Sunday's multiple terror attacks to the president within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Tusita Vanigasinghe, an additional secretary to the Ministry of Defence, was appointed as the acting Defence Secretary today. Previously, he had served as Defence Secretary in several districts across the island.
The National Security Council convened today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat.
During the meeting, it was revealed that a large number of explosives and individuals that pose a threat to national security have been taken into custody. The Security Council also decided to continue joint operations to eradicate the threat of terrorism. A decision was also reached to postpone the date to reopen schools and universities to the 6th of May. The Council also decided to call on all parties to refrain from May Day celebrations due to the current situation in the country. According to the release issued by the Presidential Media Unit, the Council also decided to increase security provided to state institutions, leading hotels and public locations.
Following the situation that is being reported in Samanture, News First spoke to police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara for a clarification on the current situation.
Following the shooting that took place in Kalmune, the police, the STF, the army has strengthened security in that area. Especially the army and the STF are reaching the place where the shooting took place. Additionally, curfew is imposed until further notice in the 3 police divisions in Kalmune, Shavalakadaya and Samanture. We will inform this once again. For other places around the country, curfew is effective from 10 p.m. today until 4 a.m. tomorrow. However, for the 3 police divisions in Kalmune, Shavalakadaya and Samanture, curfew has been imposed with immediate effect until further notice.
Governor of the Western Province Azad Sali convened a media briefing today.
The government rejected the allegations raised that he intervened to release 2 people who were arrested for allegedly vandalizing Buddha statues in the Mavanala area. This letter, issued with the signature of the former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando, says the suspects were released by the court after the CID presented facts before court.
Honorable Azad Sali, Governor Western Province, complaint of slanderous statement made by I-Waste Minister Kabir Hashim and Vimal Veeravans. This refers to your letter dated 23rd April 2019 regarding the above subject concerning the release of 2 suspects named Nafreed and MNM Naveed. As per my instruction, the CID examined the facts and submitted a report on 24th April 2019, judging from the content that therein. I confirm that the 2 suspects, MNM Nafreed and MNM Naveed, were released on 9th of April 2019 through the Mavanala Magistrate Court in case number B11-330/18. I further confirm that no undue influence was exercised by outside party to get the 2 suspects released.
Secondly, according to this letter, the 2 people who were released in Putlam had been in custody for 90 days. They were released after being presented to courts. The letter from the Defence Ministry states that there was no influence. So don't point your finger at us. We were providing information about this rogue group from 2005. We continuously provided photographs, videos and provided detail of all the dirty things that they did. Meanwhile, the governor also spoke at the all-party meeting held under the patronage of the president yesterday. I don't think it is suitable to say that the president should or that the government should resign merely because a bomb went off. Then all the presidents should have resigned each time a bomb went off. That is not the way. This should not be politicized. All the governments are responsible for letting something like this happen. We should act as one nation, as Sinhalese, Tamils, Muslims and Burghers commit themselves to eradicate terrorism. We are not pointing fingers at anyone. The chairman of the UNP, you made a statement to the media that 2 people were missing after vandalizing Buddha statues in the Mavanala area, and one such person was a bomber. He said that the president and a powerful Muslim released him. Do not provide false evidence to the media. A leader of another party comes before the media and says that there are intimidations and interference. No one has done that. If anyone has done that, we ask the president, as the commander-in-chief arrests us. If we have committed any mistakes, arrest us. It does not matter if you are a leader or not. If not, someone has to come forward to protect a terrorist. We are not afraid because we speak the truth.
Minister Rishad Baduruddin also convened a media briefing today.
I responsibly stated that neither Azad Sali nor Mujibur Rahman is connected to this. We are the people of the community who were against this. Today we are sad and ashamed as the terrorists who carried out this barbaric act are using the name of Muslims. Who are they? They are our brothers or cousins. They are only a small group of Muslims in the country. I would like to ask you if Mahinda Rajapaksa, who ended the war in Sri Lanka, is aiding these terrorists. But in here, he is putting a garland on him and giving him a trophy. Former Prime Minister Ratnasiri Wickramanayake, former Minister of Industry G.L. Pires, is handing an award to him. Also, former Minister Piyasena Gamage even gave out an award. A number of other ministers have presented these awards. So did all these people assist this terrorist organization? We must completely eradicate this terrorist organization. We are ashamed as Muslims as these terrorists had attacked churches in this beautiful motherland of ours using the name of our religion. They are not Muslims. Nothing like this has been said in Muslim teaching. If security forces want any information from us, myself, my brother and our community are ready to cooperate with them. Ibrahim had never been my coordinating secretary. Who said this? We handed over the videotapes of Maulavi Zaharan and said that he is connected to IS and asked them to arrest him. I would like to ask politicians to stop blaming each other for these attacks.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said the Sri Lankan government was aware of many Sri Lankans who maintain connections with Islamic State and added that authorities were aware that they had returned to Sri Lanka. Speaking to Sky News, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe said that Sri Lanka does not have any laws to arrest or prosecute people who join a foreign terrorist organization.
Fairy tales misleading the world, a nation even discouraging the officers who are engaged in inspections. The security status of the country is put in a mess. We know the Sri Lankan law and the police can arrest anyone who engages in illegal activities.
The
Prime Minister made such statements even before. We have enough laws which could have been imposed on the suspects. We could have arrested them under suspicion, questioned and taken the necessary actions. It's not because he is not aware. These are cheap statements made by him to cover up his mistake.
Foreign media එකට කියලා තිබුණා මේ අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා මේ තොරතුර කලින් දැනගෙන සිටියේ නම් අපි රජයෙන් අයින් වෙලා ආරක්ෂක අංශයට රට බාර දෙන්න තිබුණා කියලා. ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන්
ඒකේ ඊට වඩා හොඳ කතාවක්. එහෙම ප්ලෑන් එකක් තියෙන්නේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා.
In Ranil Wickremesinghe's mind, he is not living in this country at the moment. The Minister of Justice of Ranil's government revealed all the details on the 10th of November 2016. Wickremesinghe removed him from the cabinet. Honourable Prime Minister, don't play with the people's sorrow at this moment.
මේ මොහොතේ මිනිසුන්ගේ කඳුළුත් එක්ක මිනිසුන්ගේ වේදනාවත් එක්ක ගරු අගමැතිතුමනි ක්‍රීඩා කරන්න එපා.
ඕට නීති ප්‍රමාණවත් නැත්නම්.
Even the laws that exist are inadequate. It is the duty of the government to formulate it. The Prime Minister has the power to bring in the legislation to the Parliament. He had never before made a statement that there are Sri Lankans who have joined international terrorist organizations, that we do not have enough laws to arrest and prosecute them. So with these statements made by the Prime Minister, he is making failed attempts to shift the blame to another.
වෙන වෙන අයට පැටවීමේ අසාර්ථක උත්සාහයක් තමයි.
Moving on to a separate story, the Constitutional Council approved the recommendations for the post of Chief Justice and Auditor General when they convened this morning.
The Constitutional Council convened in Parliament today under the chairmanship of Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. Recommendations by the President for the position of Chief Justice and Auditor General were considered today. A media release issued by the Speaker's office stated that the Constitutional Council unanimously approved the appointment of Attorney General President's Counsel Jayanta Jayasuriya as the new Chief Justice and Chulanta Wickramaratne as the new Auditor General of the country. The media release issued by the Speaker's office adds that the Constitutional Council's approval for the respective appointments is due to be sent to the President.
With that, we wrap up Primetime News. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe.
And I'm Shaman Benedict. Take care and God bless.